So it was maybe a couple of months ago I mentioned that I had purchased a fan, an attic fan, to try to get some of the heat out of the top of the building. And yesterday I got it put in. Problem is with these steel roofs, they are so incredibly slick that working up there, it's about like trying to walk around on ice. I mean, it literally is. So I made myself a little wooden ladder to lay on the roof, ran a couple screws in, and then sealed them back up when I was done with some new gasketed screws. But yeah, I got that up yesterday, and it's operating, and it is completely solar powered. It does have an option of running out on AC power or DC power too, but figured daylight hours should be adequate. And it really does move a lot of air. Yeah, so we'll see how that does. I got it underneath the ridge cap, so the water should come down, you know, rain should come down on top of it and then flow off. And then underneath on either side on those ridges, I put some caulk, some silicone caulk, to keep any water from blowing up under those edges. So the only place I could get water would be up underneath if we had a real strong wind from this direction, you know. But I would think that would be a rare occurrence. So we'll see. If I have to, I can get some foam or something and put it underneath these bottom edges too. But yeah, it's working and it's moving a lot of air. And now from the inside, you can kind of see what we got going there. It's a little noisy, but yeah, that's going to be a small price to pay for the amount of air that it's moving. For the moment, I just pulled this insulation here out from up there. So when it cools off in the fall, we'll just have to shove some insulation back up in there, and then this piece back up in there too. So yeah, that should work all right. So one of the other jobs I need to do, and I pulled my other boat out the other day, yesterday, trying to get it cleaned up a little bit. I keep the boat in the building over here, which is open on one side, and unfortunately the cats hang out in there in the winter time, and there is absolutely nothing worse than cat piss. And for some reason, you know, the males, I suppose, they think they have to pee on everything, so they run around on the boat. And now the forward cabin stays closed, so we don't have any problems up there, fortunately. But back here, everything was just messy and stinky, and well, even up here you can see this is all cat prints up here. And I pressure washed this yesterday, using my pressure washer on it. So I'm going to need to do some scrubbing and to get the carpeting totally cleaned up. I'm going to have to I don't know, I think get some of that carpet shampoo that's supposed to neutralize pet odors. Yeah, so that's in the near future here. But the thing is, I need to do something to keep the cats out of here. Now, I've got a canvas cover that goes down to the floor, but it obviously doesn't keep the cats out. Well, I guess I could just put some sort of extension on there and put a weight or snaps or something on the floor to keep them from getting in there in the pilot house. That would help, I guess. Other than that, I was thinking maybe about bringing actually something out farther and then down, you know, making a cabin extension back here so that I can snap it all the way down to here. You know, maybe I'd be better off, like I said, just doing something along the floor down here, or even just setting something down there. Could Velcro it. You see like those holders over there, which are all saggy and pretty useless now. They used to hold my dock lines, but that stuff is just Velcro, and this carpeting is Velcro capable carpeting, or whatever, however you want to term that. Velcro will stick to this carpeting. So maybe I could get some Velcro and Velcro down here to seal up this canvas that goes back here so the cats couldn't get in there. But yeah, I don't know, we'll have to see. But I can do two things to that canvas. I can either bring it straight down to the floor, you know, snap it up here and bring it straight down to the floor, or I can extend it back this way and then hook it here and here, back here, but then of course the sides are open, which is fine if you're cruising, you get a little rain, or you just want to keep the sun off you, or if you're sleeping in here and you want to keep the dew off you. That works well. But for keeping cats out, it's not a very good deal. So I'm looking to find myself a new brush so I can clean this thing up a little better, and then figure out some way of sealing this up so cats can't get in here. Because man, do they make a mess of things. Horrible, horrible mess of things. Yeah. Dogs aren't nearly so messy. No, dogs aren't an issue. Are they, Archie? Yeah. So, so I got the boat out. It's summertime again, so I need to get the boat out this summer and use it, but I need to get it cleaned up first. So that's another job we're working on, aren't we, Archie? Ooh. So today is the 12th of June of 2024, and Archie and I welcome you to the boat shed. And we've made progress in the past week. As you can see here, we've got the plywood all the way back to the transom. And as we come forward, we've got plywood all the way to the bow. So yeah. And this piece here, I used epoxy on the whole thing. I wanted it to be as robust as possible up here. You know, the pointy end of the boat, if you're going to hit something or damage something, it's probably going to be here. So make sure that was stuck on there as well as possible. And I also, as you can see here, I trimmed down this edge to get ready to start putting plywood on the bottom. And I used the plane for that, the power hand plane for that. And then as I'm going here, I'm going to be doing whatever trimming I need if there's any slight offsets on these that I need to, you know, plane something down. I'm just going to do that as I'm working forward on the boat now. You can see I got this area back here ready for this sheet here to go in. And I patterned this, so hopefully my pattern is accurate, so I don't have a lot of trimming to do when I go to put this up. But I've got my brother coming over to help put this panel up, and maybe the rest of these bigger bottom panels. These things are a real bear to get stuck up under there, especially as you go along here. Yeah, it's going to be kind of... Anyway, so if I've got a hand to do that, and I got a couple other friends that have offered to help too, so if my brother can't do it some given day, maybe I can get somebody else out here, or just wait a day or whatever to do it. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to have help putting these on the bottom, which will help. And then tomorrow we'll get this piece on. I need to get this one, the amine, washed off of it, get it sanded, and then tomorrow we'll put it up. And with warmer weather, it is going, you know, this epoxy's curing faster now, so I could do it even a little quicker probably, but you know, if I get a sheet or better up a week, that's going to be adequate, because quite frankly, we're going to be done with the plywood on the hull, and then the next job is going to be to start putting the plywood up on the deck up there. And that's going to be 3 layers of 1/2-inch plywood up there. So it's going to be a lot of plywood up there too. But I really didn't want to start that in the summer. Now, I put the fan up there, as I showed you earlier in the video. I put a fan up here, which is doing an exemplary job of keeping the hot air out of here. It's making a huge difference. Just that one fan. And I don't know, it was like, it's rated at 1100 cubic feet per minute or something like that. So it moves a fair amount of air. A 40 watt solar panel and fan on there. And when the sun's shining, that thing really roars. So that's good. It's doing its job, and it's doing it quite effectively. So as you can see, I got a sheet up here, just laying up here. I was debating on how to do this because I've got an angle cut in here for the side decks to drain. And it's not the curve here, it's just, maybe you can see it over on that side a little better. I just cut those flat. I was curious to see if I thought I could get this plywood bent over that angle or not. And I think it's gonna work all right. Just bending it over that angle, as opposed to cutting this and having an actual seam in there. We're gonna be better off if we don't have a seam in there. It's gonna be stronger, so. Yeah, I think we're just going to try bending it on there and calling that good. But that's not just quite yet. Next week I'm going to get some more plywood, and then we'll get some sheets moved up here, and I'll start on this up here, getting this engine room covered in plywood. And that'll be kind of nice because, like I said, then I can move things up here, just set them on the deck here to get them up here, and it should be a lot easier than getting in and out of the boat. It's not going to make it any easier really, but it'll keep it clean in the engine room then too. I went through and cleaned out, like down in here, which you can't see anything, it's just a black hole there now, but that's going to be hard to do any cleaning out once the once the deck is on here. I mean, you could theoretically get something shoved down in there, a hose maybe bent down in there. But as for seeing what you're doing and getting anything cleaned up down there, I did that now while this is open. I got it all vacuumed up. So now that I got that all vacuumed up down there, I would rather keep the area closed off. And actually what you'll see, what I did back there behind that settee, if you can see that, I got some paper, some masking paper and masking tape behind the settee there, so I don't get wood chips and stuff dropping down in there, because that's another area that's going to be hard to clean out. It's going to get into the bilge and plug things up and whatnot, so try to keep those clean anyway. This area here is kind of the same situation, but I can get at down there because that's under the cabinets, and I've got, you know, cabinet openings, doors and stuff in there, so that's not quite such a big deal there. I can get in and clean up there anytime. But that over there is going to be more difficult, and then underneath these fuel tanks it's going to be more difficult too. So we'll get this stuff closed off so it doesn't get all full of chips and whatnot. What else have I been up to? Not a whole lot else, I guess. Still working on getting my small boat cleaned up. We got it parked out here airing out, getting it scrubbed and cleaned up. Went through all the systems last night and checked all the lights out and all the electronics and everything, and make sure everything's still working, and it is. So it survived another off season. So next week hopefully I can get that boat out and get back on the water a little bit. But anyway, yeah. So that's where we stand. This piece is going to go here, and it's going on tomorrow. Then we'll just work our way forward. And then the last pieces that'll have to go on are these here and on the outside. And these are a lot easier to do. They're being farther out from the keel, in a better position to work on them. And then they're smaller pieces too. So yeah, once I get these, you know, half a dozen pieces or whatever this is going to be on the bottom here, then we're talking pretty smooth sailing, and we might actually have this done earlier than what I would want it to be done, because like I said, I really don't want to be working up on top of the boat in August. So I might have to find something else to do for later this summer. I mean, I could start working on the hull here too, you know, getting this stuff here planed down, getting all these screw holes filled, getting these seams taped, getting it sanded. another coat of epoxy on everything. Yeah, I could be doing that too, although I'm not really looking forward to that, but yeah, that's something else I could be doing too. So we will see, but I will leave it at that for today, and we'll see you again next week.